Hello, I'm Liz, and we are going to be talking about schooling multiple children. It's a new day. Let's jump in it. When you have multiple children, it requires a bit of juggling. If you haven't already figured that out, you know it now. And you want to make sure that you have things for little ones and things for your big ones. Depending on the age ranges, I will talk to you about what my kids did, give you some ideas from what other people have done, and then you can take what you like and use it however you want to. My kids were 2 years apart, so when I was in really homeschooling all of them, we'll start from there. They were 5 and 7 and 9. The 9-year-old could read, the 7-year-old was in the process of learning to read, and the 5-year-old was listening. And he was paying attention to everything that the older two were doing, but he needed some activities that were faster because his attention span was 15 minutes as a 5-year-old, and the 9-year-old could go 20 minutes, half hour, or longer. So I had to think of how could I organize the day with the young one who needs faster activities along with the child who needs some time and then can focus longer. So for example, 5-year-old, we're going to all read a story and hear it together. And so I would usually start off with the Bible and read a story, and then they would need to color a story. And so they all did that together. So that got our day started together. Then the 5-year-old, I might give him some Legos and say, I want you to build a house for a pet. And so he'd be all into his Legos and start on that. And then I would go with the older ones, the 7 and 9-year-old, and I would talk about science. And I would read stuff out of the science book. Now, the one playing with the Legos can hear what's happening, but I'm really focused on the 7 and 9-year-old who are listening to the science book and listening to the experiment that they're going to do. And then I would give them the items that they needed, or I would have them go and collect the items that they needed to conduct their experiments. And then I would have them do it. In the meantime, Lego player might still be engrossed in the Legos, or may say, oh, I'm done with this, so let's clean that up. And then I would say, okay, so let's have some free play time. And so we might play together, or he might just go and get whatever he wanted. Maybe he'd get some of his action figures, or whatever, he'd do something. In the meantime, I'm having my eye over there on the science experimenters to make sure that things don't go boom when they shouldn't go boom, and monitoring. And then maybe we break for a snack. We've got science done, we've got the Bible study done. Now we're going to go have a snack, a break, do that for 10 minutes, set the timer. Maybe you're still in your pajamas, it's time to go get dressed. Whatever, use your time. And then we would regroup. Now I'd go back with the older kids and say, okay, I want to present a spelling list to you and talk about, okay, I want you to take these words and I want you to know how to spell them, obviously, but I also then want you to write a story using 5 of the 10 words that they've given you. So now their brains are active and they're thinking, and it's very quiet over by them. In the meantime, I've gone back to the 5-year-old and I'm maybe reading another story to them. Maybe I'm going and doing like a mini science experiment with them. Maybe I'm having them play with blocks. Maybe I'm having them color, whatever. I mean, there's so many different things to do. When I pulled out my lesson plan book from the years when I was doing the little kids, I had lots of things going on for each one of them. One, he was doing hooked on phonics. He was doing independent reading. We were doing some addition games. We were doing, it depends on your 5-year-old. Do they know their numbers? Can you start getting pieces out to like Legos? Okay, if we have 5 blue and we add 3 more blue, how many do we have all together? They're practicing counting, right? When they got to be a little bit older and we had earth science and we did 50 states, this is a great time to do the states. Let's look at New York and see what's the capital of New York. What are some things that they like to do in New York? What are some places to go that we definitely want to go see? The Statue of Liberty? Do we want to know where Ellis Island is? Do we want to pretend that we're in New York ordering a bagel? Do we want to try and make bagels? Do we want to have cream cheese and lox? What do we want to do? And think about those states and really learn about them together. as the kids learned about the 50 states, one of my kids, he loves geography, loves it. If you ask him the capital of the state, he knows it. If you want to go around the world, he knows a lot of those too. The rest of us are like, we're going to have to Google that. We're going to have to internet search it. Literature, pulled out their literature books. If you have the books from school, you can use them. Look at them. Figure out, where did they end off, and what is the teacher saying they need to do. And again, pull in other teachers into Zoom rooms that if you go, I cannot do history, I hate history. I hated history myself personally when I was in high school. I had teachers that liked it, but then just kind of did it by rote. When I went to college, there was a man there who talked about people, not dates, not locations. He talked about the people and how they lived during that time and what they were thinking during that time. It was amazing. I started to love history, and I taught my kids a lot about history when I homeschooled them, and they ate it up. One of my kids, he can tell you all about the wars. He wanted to really study the wars in the United States and around the world, and so we did that. We studied things that were happening around the world and why it impacted us in the United States and why we then had to go to war. So we learned a lot about if and then, and if this happens, then this could happen. Perfect time with this pandemic to say, oh, how do things actually work? What happens here isn't separate from what happens over here. We are all united. We're all working together. So that kind of thing, that thinking is what my kids understand today, is we're in this together. It's not just about me and what I want. So as you've heard, there's a common theme through these videos as you're working together. Talk to your family about what it is that is really important to them. What do they want to get out of this time? Do they want to just spend time with you? And I'm going to go off topic a little bit, about schooling multiples, but I think it's on topic at the same time, because when you're schooling at home, everybody has different expectations. Everybody is expecting something. If you don't know what your expectations are, you're going to have problems. Somebody might think, well, I'm at home with mommy or daddy, and now I get to cuddle all day. And your expectation is that you're going to get able to work at your desk, and now you have some kid crawling around you, and another kid sees it, and they're crawling over, and now you can't get to the keyboard because now they're stomping on the keyboard. Okay, other child might think, well, I'm just going to do my work, and you're going to leave me alone, and it's like we're not even here. And you're like, yeah, but that's not how it works, because I have to actually be accountable to your teachers and tell them what you've done today. So I need to know what you're doing today. So talk about expectations so that you can work together in a good way, in a healthy way, without people getting irritated and saying, why are you trying to micromanage me? Like your 8-year-old would say that to you. But your boss may be saying, what's going on? And you're like, I can't even tell you the chaos in my house. Hopefully this will help you to have less chaos. It's not going to be picture perfect. Don't expect it to be. There will be times that you yell. There will be times you need to go put yourself into a timeout, and you can say to your kids, I am losing my mind. I'm going into a timeout. Do not talk to me for the next, and set the timer and let me know when it goes off. And the kids will laugh. They'll think that's funny, and then they'll do it. And they'll give you some time to just recover from your moment, your freak out, and just keep on going. I hope this has been helpful, and you'll have to adjust your schedules according to your age of your children and what's happening. You can rely on the older ones to help you with the younger ones. Again, working together and setting the expectations of, when I'm at work, I have to be uninterrupted. So I need for you to step up and take care of little one and little two, so I can get this done. This is really critical for me to be able to continue having a job. So please help me with this. And as a consequence of you helping me with this, I will then do this for you. And you start to barter your time, your energy, whatever it is that they want. You don't have to say yes to it, but you can negotiate. Okay? I hope that's great. Have a wonderful day. If you like what you heard, like it, follow, subscribe, and be empowered. Have a great day. Bye.